Well, hello and welcome to the new video. And you are looking at the beautiful, probably the most beautiful car in its class in the compact segment. Is the Mazda 3, and this is the My 24, so the 24 model year already. It's not the top of the line equipment. It's a sort of somewhere in the middle. I think it's called Takumi, and it's a beautifully looking car. I mean, really, if we go around the car, so we have a LED lights here, but then the halogen bulbs here for the sort of a normal light during the day, which I cannot turn on now. But it's a beautiful car with this beautiful signature connecting the lights, and a beautiful like this black cloud mask with the big Mazda logo in there. I also love that the mask itself is going extremely low and it's extremely tiny in the front. That's really good. And also, the shape of the car is amazing with the drag coefficient of 0.3 for this hatchback and 0.28 for the sedan variant. So in terms of wheels, we are having 18-inch wheels with the tires of 215 45 R18. So Mazda went for a sort of also a lightweight unsprung mass option with the combination of wheels and tires. I think it's very decent, and we have a positive caster which gives you a good steering, good feel through the steering, so that's very good. We have a long enough wheelbase. Hello. Let me just put these things away. So it's well, it could be a little bit better. I have to be honest. For the knees, I'm kind of pushing them into the seat, but for the feet, it's all right, and also for the head, even despite the sloping headline. So then in terms of practicality, we have an armrest, but what we're missing here are some sort of connectors here in the back and the ventilation ports. So yeah, but all around in the back, I mean, usable, and we have a strong LED light here in the roof lining. Now let's have a look into the boot, which is a reasonable size. You open it from underneath the Mazda logo. It looks around 307 liters, which seems decent. You have an LED light, strong for the night, and well, I thought there would be a wheel here, but it's not. And from the rear, it is an extremely well-looking car. Particularly from here, it reminds me a little bit of an Alfa Romeo, I have to say. And of course, what you have to have are two proper exhaust pipes, which sound extremely well, actually, when the car is revving in the neutral. So, yeah, that would be the walkaround to the Mazda 3 hatchback 2024. And let's go further down the road. Let's take it for a spin. Oh, well, hello and good morning. So welcome to probably what I think is the best compact hatchback there is in the market, even excluding the premium cars, because those are just too expensive, I think, and this is a really still a very reasonable price. So this is the interior of the 2024 Mazda 3, and it is a fantastic place to be. Oh my god. So what I'm liking actually the seats. They are the sort of fabric material, not leather. I like fabric because you can heat it up with your body very quickly. They are not very cold in the winter. Now when you sit in the car in the morning and when you put the heating on, they get heated extremely quickly. So I actually like them, and their support is sort of very decent here in the mid section of your back for holding you in the corners. So they're actually pretty good, and also for your bottom. So that's pretty good. Then I love the steering wheel. This steering wheel ahead of me is thin, and it's just sort of reasonably big, but it's just very nice to hold. And the steering of this car, oh my god, it's just great. And then what I love is this huge armrest where you can support your elbow while you're shifting gears, so you have a perfect position for shifting. Really great land. The shifter really goes into your hand very naturally, so it's a fantastic position. The shifter itself, it's very short. I mean, it's just lovely. Let me just start the car so that it doesn't fog up here, the car. And then the whole general layout of the interior is fantastic. Here in the front is wireless charging, then you have 2 cup holders, then you have the gear shift, then you have of course the rotating knobs for the multimedia, which is another perfect thing in comparison to other compact cars like Volkswagen, Ford stuff. This is a much more premium feeling solution and much more practical solution as well. It just feels so great, and the new infotainment is great as well. You have wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, which you just turn on with putting it into the front, this rotating knob. And the settings are as usual. There are 2 new assistants, very annoying. One is that it's beeping at you all of the time, even when you try to turn it off in the settings, when you go over the speed limit. And another is very surprising again, that when you're tailgating some car, which occasionally happens on the motorway, the car itself applies brakes and it doesn't let you accelerate until it decides you're in the correct distance behind the car. I find this a little bit annoying, and I sort of, don't like that the car just wants to dictate me how close I should be to the car in front of me. But for normal people that just want to travel places very safely, this is probably a good feature. So then I also like here the air conditioning hardware unit. Very easy to learn, very easy to navigate, very nice click of the rotating knobs. Yeah, it's just beautiful. And then the overall build of the interior, I mean, oh, did you hear that? So that is the beeping sound when you cross the speed limit, which is hateful. Thank you, politicians from the European Union. Yeah, so but otherwise the build quality of the interior is fantastic. You have leather here on the dash and here on the door cards. You have leather and sort of a squishy, very soft support here for your knee. It's just a fantastic place to be, and it's also fantastic well looking. You have two geometric vents here in front of the passenger, 2 here for you as a driver. I mean, it's just great. And now I've turned off for a bit of my favorite road, which you already know from my past videos, but today it's raining quite heavily, so it's gonna be interesting. Let me just overtake this Toyota. Come on. And this car, well, let me tell you, this is, here's the compression. Oh, fantastically managed. No bouncing, nothing like some Skoda or VW. Fantastic. So the suspension on this car is a jam. Mazda always knows how to set up a car for driving, and this is no exception to that. It is absolutely great. Of course it's stiff. It feels almost like a hot hatch, just a tiny bit softer. It feels really like a hot hatch. That's what you feel from this car, and also how low it is, how low the center of gravity is on this car. I mean, it's just great. In terms of suspension, the past generations of the Mazda 3, this one is here already for a few years, but the past one had McPherson in the front and multilink at the back. My friend's mom had it, but this one, when it came to the newer generation, they switched the rear axle, the rear suspension, to to the classical torsion bar suspension, but they've been able to set it up so beautifully that this car feels as planted and as stable throughout the corners. Even here in the rain on the motorway, we have a twisty motorway here. I was doing like normally 140, just felt so planted and so stable. I had such a confidence that the car is not going to lose it. It was really great. So yeah, and then in terms of tires, we have 18-inch tires here. I think they don't go too wide with the tires. We have 215 tires, so very reasonable size even for the weight, which is 1360 kilos, something like this. I'm gonna put it here, of course. So amazing, because the tires of course also are a necessary weight for the suspension. So we have a low unsprung weight this here, even with having a slimmer wheel. So yeah, fantastic. Then there is a positive caster on the front, of course, so the steering is very naturally weighted, nicely weighted, very responsive. The amount of feedback you get through it is almost unbelievable. I mean, that's really hot hatch territory of feedback that you get in here. And also through the seat. This Mazda seat is not soft. It's sort of somewhere it's in between soft and firm. But the feedback you get, particularly from the rear axle, thanks to having a torsion bar, I mean, it's just great. Let me just rev the engine for you. Okay, so this being a natural aspirated car, you need to rev it up. Can you hear that? 5,500 RPM. Let me put it to fourth. And the shift, so slick and short and mechanical. It beggars believe how great you feel driving this car. It's really great, really. Fantastic shift, and very short also the gear shift. So and then the steering so precise. You feel every vibration from the road. I mean, that's exactly how it should be. Another compression here, fantastically managed, really like in a hot hatch. It just jumps down and that's it. Very, very firm. So wow, very nice. I don't know, take this guy maybe? Oh, I don't see it into that corner, but let me do it quickly. We have power. So I didn't tell you about the engine here. The engine here is not the most powerful engine as you are maybe thinking is usual with these press cars, because this one isn't even a top spec of the car. This is called, I think, Takumi, and this has a 2-liter naturally aspirated engine, petrol engine only. So it's not this top of the range Skyactiv X, tries to act as a diesel, but this is a normal gasoline engine, 150 horsepower. You can get even a lower power of 122 horsepower, but this is 150 horsepower, so very normal power. And nowadays you get that in a Golf 1.5 turbo and stuff, but this being a 2-liter engine, you just get the quirks of a naturally aspirated engine in this car, because it lets you rev it up to almost 7,000, 6.8 thousand RPM. It has a beautiful sound, no quietening by the turbo. It's just fantastic. So yeah, really great engine. I absolutely love it and adore it. Of course, maybe if you have a car full of people, let me go actually a little bit more straight here. If you have a car full of people, maybe that's where it can be a problem, that you don't have a turbo in the car. But other than that, not really. In terms of fuel economy, again, absolutely brilliant. What can you say? 6.1 on a long journey average, driving on a motorway 140 kilometers per hour, on the B roads 110, 120. Having a sporty drive throughout the corner. 6.1 liters, absolutely amazing, and the tank is about, I think, about 55 liters. So I mean, oh my god, I mean, you know, someone might think of it as a normal car, very normal car, but it feels special in regards of normal cars, because it just has this hot hatch-like suspension, and it's just so driver focused. And even then the design, which of course is for the walk around part of the video, but the design of the car is absolutely amazing as well. it just feels so luxurious and so premium, even though the price isn't. This car costs just around 26 to 28,000 pounds, euros, in my country. So yeah, really a great price, you know, still a price that you actually can afford this car, and it's very practical. Also in the back you have decent space, and in the boot. So wow, it's a really great creation. You can hear in the corner, it sits so flat. It sits so flat throughout the corners. Wow, it's absolutely great. And then what I love as well are the normal, like mostly analog dials. Only here in the middle you have the sort of analog dial that is actually the digital, which is an obvious thing with the Mazda nowadays. They do this in the instrument cluster. I just feel so elegant, very easy to read, very easy to know what you want to see, and all of the sort of information. So wow. And the seating position, extremely low, although you are sitting a little bit above the interior, has to be said, but extremely low. And also the steering wheel just ahead of your chest, like in a racing car, in a Formula 1 car, when you have it in the lowest position. So fantastic. And then the brakes are nice and stiff, and the clutch is light, so it doesn't annoy you in the traffic jam and stuff. So this is really a proper hatchback. Let me overtake this big SUV. There's an interesting truck coming next way. Nice. Okay. Yeah, and driving with this manual, it just feels like so natural. Like you're connected with the car, you just change gears very easily. Oh, wow, it's just like, it's fantastic. I love it. So we're just in some village at the moment. Yeah, well, I mean, it's really great. And look, here we have a corner in the village. Oh, nice. And how it just rotates itself. Well, not here, but when I was sort of slightly pushing it rotates itself on the back into the corner and on the brakes, because we have a solid axle in the rear. It's just so much fun. It feels like a kart. Believe me, it feels like a kart. I mean, you know, Mini has a slogan of, or some people say that it feels like a car. This feels more like a car. I'm racing cars. I know how a car feels. This is more a car than a Mini. This is absolutely great in terms of suspension. So much fun. You can turn also the traction system off. I don't think the stability system, but the traction system, maybe we could say it's a slight maybe critique to being such a driver's car and not being able to take full control of it. But well, now we're overtaking here up the hill. Look at that, up the hill, 110, 120, absolutely no problem with the dynamics of the car. Look at the corner here, planted, stable, great feedback. Leaning onto the outer rear wheel, as all Mazdas do. Fantastically set up, another compression, well sorted. Accelerating 120, 130. Very fast and slick shift, very mechanical feeling. It's just loads of fun driving this car around. Yeah, it's great, man. It's great. So that should lead me to the likes and dislikes. Let me just overtake this bunch. There might be a car coming. I'm not gonna do this. I measured the quietness of the car, and it is reasonably quiet. I think it was 63 decibels, 59 that was the lowest. Yeah, in the meantime, actually, I found it a few more noisy roads. Also, this one could be very close to that, so maybe I will change my my sort of road for testing the noise. but very good results still. So let's go to the likes and dislikes. So the dislikes has to be these new 2024 systems from the European Union that we have to have in the car. Probably you in the UK, if you're watching, you won't have to have it. I'm not really sure about that. But this is so annoying, oh my god. This sort of thing that's beeping at you all the time. It's all the time showing red here on the dial that you're going over the speed limit, and then beeping at you every like 30 seconds. I'm subjectively feeling it's just so annoying, oh my god. And you can't turn it off. I tried everything. There is the sort of setting for it here in the settings. I even put it to the like the biggest sort of a speed, like plus 10 kilometers, but just doesn't work. It still beeps at me, this thing. So that's really annoying. The lane assist is very usual in the Mazda. You turn it off like 5 steps really here with the knob, so really okay, we can live with that. So yeah, if Mazda wanted to really compete with the premium cars, like absolutely, because in most aspects it is premium, but I think the isolation could be even slightly bit better. I mean subjectively, because are there cars coming still? Because subjectively from the wheels it could be slightly well isolated, and also from the wind. So yeah, that could be a slight negative. And yeah, but otherwise, I mean, I cannot say bad things about this car, because in terms of what I look for in a car, being connected with the car, driving the car actually, and having fun and smile and good feeling from driving the car, this is exactly what this car gets me. And it's not too big, you can park it easily in the city, you have good look around the whole car, you have a great fuel consumption, it's petrol. I don't really like the sound of a 4-cylinder diesel in my car, despite the diesels having much better fuel efficiency. So there's really much to like about this car. It's just, and the interior, it's probably the most beautiful interior, even if you compare it to the likes of Mercedes, Audi, BMW. It's much more beautiful than that, and it's also extremely well put together. Nothing squeaks here like in a Mercedes, or occasionally also in a BMW, those plastic trims you have there. This is all solid here, all solid. So yeah, I mean, it's great. So this is great thing. The design of the car is another great thing about the car. The steering is fantastic, the brakes are really great. The chassis setup, absolutely amazing, considering that they put here the solid axle in the rear for people, or for keeping the car still at a reasonable price. Absolutely amazing setup, really so much fun, and also reasonably stiff. It really feels like a kart when you're driving it around through the corners. It's just a fantastic experience driving this car. Wow. So yeah, if I would be rating the cars, or I can be, I would give this car really like 9.5 out of 10. There are a few things that can be improved, but overall, what a fantastic package they made. I mean, this is, in my opinion, the best compact car that you can get for the luxury and value that you have and the driving fun. This is the best one. There is nothing in the current compact hatchback segment that can compete with it. Absolutely amazing. So yeah, that would be it to the video. If you like the video, give it a like. I will be very happy, and I'll see you at the next videos, which are coming very soon. In the meantime, take care of you, and see you in the next video. Goodbye.